Good God, the Project Veritas board has kicked out James O'Keefe from Project Veritas, the journalistic company that he founded. Now, it's being said this is a coup attempt. Something seems fishy to me. What's up, my beautiful freedom-loving friend? Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants, as well as highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. I don't think there's a more powerful person, a single most powerful person in journalism than James O'Keefe. And we all know he's synonymous with Project Veritas, which he founded back in 2010. James O'Keefe is now kicked out of Project Veritas. What the hell? And to make matters a little more suspicious, the board kicked James O'Keefe out of Project Veritas, this coming a week or so after Project Veritas's huge bombshell report that literally incriminates Pfizer. So is there something fishy going on with the Project Veritas board kicking James O'Keefe out, or is this legitimate? I don't know, but I want to share some of the facts with you. So I'm going to reference an article here on timcast.com. Viral Twitter thread claims James O'Keefe's paid leave from Veritas is a coup attempt. What is happening to James O'Keefe is unconscionable, and the attempted hostile takeover of Project Veritas needs to be stood up against by its supporters. Now, I think a good place to start with is, what is the board's reasoning for kicking James O'Keefe out? Before we can start to have an opinion, is it a valid reason or is it a corrupt reason? We need to understand what the hell is their reason for kicking James O'Keefe out of Project Veritas, putting him on paid leave, which strips him of all power in Project Veritas. He's effectively out of the company, still being paid until February 10th, when they're going to decide, like, okay, is this permanent? Are you out all the way, or are we going to let you back in? This is absolutely mind-boggling, because James O'Keefe is very synonymous with Project Veritas. He is the face of Project Veritas. Project Veritas and James O'Keefe, they have raised so much awareness around the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants in the past few years that it would be a travesty if this movement within the freedom movement and the truth movement were to crumble. And there's fear that if James O'Keefe is indeed out forever at Project Veritas, then the good that Project Veritas stood for and the momentum it had, the fear is it will crumble. So what did James O'Keefe allegedly do? Here's the board's reason. About 10 employees aired their grievances about James, which essentially boiled down to him being a tough boss to work for. At the end of the 6-hour struggle session, so this is a board meeting, Pyramid and fellow board member John Garvey put him on leave and stripped him of all authority, the source allegedly said, referring to a meeting as a Stalin-esque kangaroo court trial. Now, let's just say that's true. James O'Keefe is a tough boss to work for. I don't know if that's true. The only personal interaction I've had with James O'Keefe is a couple DMs on Instagram, so truly I don't know the guy. But let's just say he's a tough boss to work for. What does that mean? That mean he demands a lot of his employees? Does that mean he has a high standard he holds them to? Does that mean that he wants them to work instead of pampering themselves in massage chairs and eating free food in the cafeteria with their arugula salads and acai bowls? I mean, that would be a travesty for a Silicon Valley employee. But for the rest of, adult humans with self-responsibility, having a tough boss is maybe to be expected. Now, that's the term being used, a tough boss. There's no accusations of criminal behavior, harassment, or anything like that. So it's not a crime for someone to be a tough boss. That might actually be a great thing. The world actually might need more tough bosses. Socialism works where nobody has a tough boss. That's why everything crumbles. The best part of capitalism, the best part of freedom, involves self-responsibility, which means you need to be held to a high standard. And whatever the term tough boss means, maybe that's a part of upholding those standards. So that's speculation around what the term might mean, might not mean, but what we know for sure is there's no accusations of any level of criminal behavior or harassment from James O'Keefe onto employees. Now, the alleged whistleblower within Project Veritas, which, the probably have a lot of good whistleblowers, doing the work they do. It says, what is happening to James O'Keefe is unconscionable, and the attempted hostile takeover of Project Veritas needs to be stood against by its supporters. This will not stand. The whistleblower within Project Veritas that it's reasonable to assume has more insider information on this situation, accurate information about this situation relative to what he's suggesting is not an accurate portrayal by the board. He's saying like, yeah, this is frivolous. This is an attempted coup attempt. And if that is true, why would the Project Veritas board want to do a coup against James O'Keefe? Why would they want him out? Whose bidding are they doing? If we live in a world for a second where the board, speculating based on this whistleblower's thought of like, no, I have the information and this is a coup attempt. It's not legitimate. So if the board's not acting in the best interest of the company, what's their motive? Because we know the function of a board, in theory, is to protect the best interests of the company. Now, if you have a leader who's behaving like a tyrant, harassing employees, or demoralizing employees with terrible behavior, it's a good idea for the board to kick that person out, because basically a toxic leader, anyone toxic in the company, that's bad for the company's best interest. But if that's not the case, if we're living in the world of the whistleblower, what is the motive of the Project Veritas board for kicking James O'Keefe out? Who's the board connected to? These couple board members. Whose bidding are they doing? Are they somehow connected either above board or below board to Pfizer, to any other powerful entity that would want to take down Project Veritas? Who would want to take down Project Veritas? Who wouldn't? If you're not a freedom lover and truth seeker, then you probably want Project Veritas taken down. They do nothing but publish very inconvenient factual information that goes against the tyrants. So I don't know that this is true, but my mind certainly opens up to the wonderment of whose bidding is the board doing, because there's so much loyalty to Project Veritas by way of loyalty to James O'Keefe. Again, he is the face of the company. He has been. We see his face. We see him on the videos saying like, hey, here's the Pfizer executive. Here's what we found. Watch this undercover footage. We know James O'Keefe. So if James O'Keefe is out of Project Veritas, I think Project Veritas loses a ton of support. If the board was truly acting in good faith, it's still a dangerous action, because I think people know what James O'Keefe stands for, at least professionally. And I think people would speculate and jump to conclusions that there's something fishy going on. Our loyalty is with James O'Keefe, not Project Veritas. So I think Project Veritas is potentially damaged, maybe damaged beyond repair, even if the board was acting in good faith. But if the board was not acting in good faith, as this whistleblower claims, then it absolutely seems like it is a demising blow to Project Veritas, with the board kicking James O'Keefe out. So would that be intentional? Or would the board, if they're not acting in good faith, would they want to kick James O'Keefe out, like take away some of the power, some of the anti-tyrannical, truth-seeking, freedom-loving power that James O'Keefe brought to the table? And then they try to survive with Project Veritas, rebuild it, and does it become watered down? Does it become like just relatively irrelevant? We're like, hey, Project Veritas, what we're finding now is the narrative. That's true. Look, we proved it with undercover good people at Pfizer. Look, they're talking about how they want to hug teddy bears and do good for the world. I don't know. But nonetheless, I think one thing we do know is James O'Keefe being out at Project Veritas, taking it at face value with this whistleblower sentiment. I think this is certainly a blow to the gut of the freedom movement. Nobody does work like Project Veritas. Nobody puts their butts on the line like Project Veritas. And if James O'Keefe truly is a straightforward, good faith person, a good boss, a tough boss, but a good boss who treats people well, and he's out at Project Veritas, I think this is a little bit of a crime, a corrupted crime against the freedom movement. So I'm going to be continuing to follow this story because it's very relevant to me as a freedom lover. And, my loyalty to Project Veritas is now very questioned. Which, by the way, if it comes out like, yeah, James O'Keefe, he was like punching people in the kidneys, I was like, cool, I'm glad he's out. I haven't seen any evidence of that. I'm open to seeing it if and when it comes along. But in the meantime, my mind is feeling suspicious and something fishy is going on. I could be wrong, but that's where my mind is at based on the facts that I've seen. I'll continue to follow the story. Hope you will too, because I think it matters for freedom lovers. And you know what else matters for freedom lovers? Good health. I think health equals freedom. That's why I'm proud to be associated with a sponsor of today's video, Magnesium Breakthrough, made by Bioptimizers. Hey there, my friend. I am proud to say Magnesium Breakthrough, made by Bioptimizers, is a sponsor of today's video. For the past 3 years, I have been using and loving Magnesium Breakthrough so I can get good sleep, de-stress, and ultimately feel and function my best. Aside from just helping me sleep better, which gives me great energy the next day, I also love Magnesium Breakthrough because it effectively helps me reduce stress. Do you like to feel stressed? Do you like to have a low quality of life? Do you like to be in a bad mood all the time? If so, you will want to avoid Magnesium Breakthrough. But if you like to de-stress yourself like me so you can feel good, be in a good mood, and have great energy, then you might like Magnesium Breakthrough. Magnesium is a miraculous little nutrient that helps you de-stress yourself. But the problem with that is, a lot of people's diets are deficient in magnesium due to poor soil quality, or if you're taking a vitamin mineral supplement, a lot of those only have one weak form of magnesium in them. Sucks for them, but the good news is for you, Magnesium Breakthrough delivers all 7 potent forms of magnesium that your body needs in order to de-stress itself. My daily routine is I take 2 capsules in the evening a couple hours before bed, and I get noticeably better sleep, I go to sleep quicker, and I wake up the next day feeling my best. Instead of self-sabotaging by accumulating your stress, if you're interested in de-stressing yourself so you can feel great, check out Magnesium Breakthrough at magnesiumBreakthrough.com/JPReacts. And while you're there, for a healthy discount, use the discount code JPReacts10. Thank you, Magnesium Breakthrough.